Hey guys, welcome back to the General's Workshop. Super excited for today because Braun and I want to show you how to install conceal cup hinges. And I know that this can feel a little intimidating, especially at first. So if you are new to cabinet making, this video, I'm going to help walk you through how to install full overlay concealed hinges, step by step. Now, I'm not going to go over every single type of hinge out there because honestly, that's just confusing when you're starting out. So the full overlay, in my opinion, is the most common style out there. And if you master this one, well, that just gives you an amazing foundation that you need for installing almost any cabinet hinge. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to install full overlay European hinges the right way using two very simple jigs, the Kreg Conceal Hinge jig and the Rockler Jig It template. And instead of just showing the drilling parts, we're going to be talking about the real questions that a lot of the tutorials skip, like where to put the hinges, how many to use, and what is that little offset dial that is on that jig. Let's start with what these tools do. The Kreg jig is this is what drills that 35 millimeter cup hole for the hinge. That's the round recess that goes in the door, right? That's what the hinge sits in. And it also sets the offset, which is how far that hole sits from the edge of the door. The Rockler Jig It template, now in my particular case, it's template A, handles the mounting plate holes right on the side of the cabinet. That's part of the 32 millimeter system used on almost every single Euro style hinge out there. Now here's where most people get stuck. How far from the top or the bottom should the hinge go? The rule of thumb is simple. The door that is up to 40 inches tall, place the hinges roughly 3 inches from the top and or the bottom edge of the door. If the door is taller than 40 inches, add a third hinge in the center. Anything taller than 60 inches, use 4 hinges spaced evenly from the top to the bottom. That's it. 3 inches and even spacing, and you'll be fine. Next is that gray dial on that Kreg jig. That is your offset setting. For most hinges, like in my particular case, I'm using the Berta 110 degree full overlay soft close hinges. The right offset is 3 millimeters. That means that the center of the cup hole sits 3 millimeters in from the door edge. If you move it further, like let's just say 5 millimeters, well then the hinge sits deeper inside the door and it changes how the door overlaps the cabinet. So unless your hinge instructions say otherwise, it would be safe to just start with 3 millimeters. It works for almost every full overlay hinge out there. Once you've marked your hinge line, you want to clamp the jig flush to the edge of the door. You're going to drill until the depth stop collar touches the jig. That prevents you from punching through the other side of the cabinet. Most of these are a ½ inch in depth. Then you're going to use the 2 small pilot holes on the jig to pre-drill for the hinge screws. And when you're done, you'll have a perfect 35 millimeter cup and clean pilot holes ready for mounting. Now, on the cabinet bottom, this is where we're going to be utilizing the Rockler template to mark the 2 screw holes for the hinge plate. That template keeps the spacing exactly 32 millimeters apart. So every hinge sits in the same spot. So we're going to drill pilot holes, we're going to screw the plate in, as easy as that. At this point, we're going to clip the hinge arm onto the plate, and you'll see why these are called 3-way adjustable. The front screw of the door allows it to slide side to side. The rear screw controls depth, and the base screw adjusts height. And that is how you dial in those perfect even gaps. So with just 2 jigs, you can install professional grade hinges, and that looked like it came straight from the factory. So there are a couple of topics that seem to be pretty big confusion points for beginners when they're starting off doing something like this. Earlier, I had mentioned to you guys that I had talked with Uncle Marv, and I remember having the conversation. This was before I'd ever done any cabinets, but I thought about it. And I remember he said to me, he goes, Joshua, if you can build a box, you can build cabinets. And I remember looking at him thinking, you are crazy. There is no way. Here's a guy who's just trying to downplay it because he's trying to be humble. In my head, that's what I'm thinking. I even remember arguing with him to say, no, there is no way that's the case. But the honest truth is he's right. Now, obviously there's nuances that go with assembling a box that's square, that's right, all these things, but that is the truth. If you could build a box, you're going to be able to build cabinets. And I just want to encourage you watching, if there's any hesitation within you, I want to encourage you just to try. Every time I've done a set of cabinets or my version, right, they've gotten better. I've gotten smoother. I've gotten better with my flow, my logistics, right? Each step isn't as scary, et cetera, et cetera. So I do want to encourage you in that way to just give it a try. Go after it. Uncle Marv, you were 100% accurate. It is just like building a box. So with that being said, one other confusion point that traditionally kind of can go with these is when you watch videos or other videos, you're going to see that oftentimes they just put it at 3, 3, 3, meaning where do you mount the base plate or the hinge, if you will. Why 3? Have you ever thought about that? Why not 6? Why not 7? Well, I will say this, that if you're dealing with no obstructions, right, 3 inches down from both sides gives you the best mechanical advantage for those. And again, follow that chart earlier on when you should add a third one evenly spaced in the center. But there is a caveat to that. What happens in a case like this, where you have an obstacle that you have to work around? Because if I did 3 inches, that's going to put it right where this structure of the tray is going to be located. So in a case like that, it is 100% absolutely okay for you to go just above that. So instead of 3 inches, I'm going to do now 5 inches, and it's going to be placed a little bit higher. Is that going to be okay? 100% absolutely, it's going to be okay. And so I wanted to kind of let you know that there's some freedom there. I could even go 6 inches, right? It's still going to be fine. I wouldn't want to stray much more beyond that. I do want you to kind of try to go roughly about 2.5 to 3 inches when able. When obstacles are in the place, then go ahead and move your location, but only as much as you have to just to avoid that. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, for you guys, if you want to see me go through a very quick, real-time how to do an install, click this video over here, and I'm going to go through a full process, not skipping and jumping. Because how many times have you guys watched a video and you realize that, like, hey, they made it look like it happened in 3 minutes, but the honest truth is it took them a day and a half to do that. Well, if you click this video here, I'm going to go over a full install from start to finish now that you have all the logistics that I've showed you kind of worked out. And if you have been motivated to maybe try doing some cabinets, stepping out in a little bit of discomfort, then check out this other video that goes over all the tools that I think are absolutely must-haves if you're going to be building cabinets. These are jigs that allow you to place the handles, to drill the holes as far as that's concerned, the right clamps to have, right? We'll go over all that right down here. Get you all situated for that upcoming Christmas list or that gift for the woodworker in your family. Check that out.